This is a painting of a young girl, and she's looking back at you, and what's she thinking? You know, you can't really say. Well, she's sad, yeah, but there's something going on that we don't really know about. She's definitely maybe suffered a loss, and if we stand back outside the cell, you just see the whole face. But when you go close up, you see there's a lot more work is on the work around the eyes. So just because that I call her a brown-eyed girl, so you'd actually notice the eyes. It's called Discovered. Well, it's like, you have stories about refugees on the run, and they're found in a container. There's 20 of them or whatever. We've heard stories like that in the past. It's that kind of story. We don't know the stories. These are, as you look at the paintings, you put your own story to it, really. And I'm not trying to say this is what you should think about it. It's just and as in a lot of the paintings, something traumatic has happened in this girl's life, and again, as I was saying, you look at photographs in the media, you see them one day, they're gone the next, and nobody pays much heed. But each image, there's a whole story behind that image, and it's by taking just a small picture and making a painting of it, kind of makes that story important. It's the idea of it. It says this is somebody's life. It does matter, It's not just something newspaper you throw away, Yeah, well, this one is called What I've Seen, and I've done a lot of paintings of this very man, again and again. It's sort of looking at the difference between photography and painting. People often ask, when you're looking at paintings, it's like a photograph, why don't you just take a photograph, or is a painting better, or that kind of question. And I started playing with that idea and doing the same painting again and again, and it's impossible really to make the same painting exactly the same the next time. One sort of slightly different brushstroke and it'll be a different expression. But then it's also interesting when you use a slightly different colour. It changes the impression of the painting. It makes it, if it's more red, it kind of makes it more desperate maybe. Or it's like this could be somebody coming back from the war, after What I've Seen. That's what it's called. It's he's seen terrible things and doesn't want to know about it, doesn't want to think about it. It's just part of his life he wants to forget, but he probably can never forget. Okay, this one is called I Was Gutted. I could hardly believe it. And it's like, you see on the news, and there's some awful tragedy after happening, and the interviewer comes up and says, and how did you feel? And they say, I was gutted. I could hardly believe it. And really at that stage, you probably can't say anymore. You don't know what to say, in that kind of situation. But actually this painting started off, I was watching The Passion. It was a series a year or two ago on BBC about Easter, and it was called The Passion. And that was Mary Magdalene, and she was looking up at the cross, and she was just, I don't know, he had just died, you see, and I suppose, she had believed in Jesus and couldn't believe that he was dead now. Yeah, so this is a new one, and it's different because there's two faces in it. And I suppose in a way, when you see all the large ones together in one exhibition, it's quite heavy because there's a lot of grief here, And I put in that the image on the right is from the Pietà, Michelangelo's The Madonna and the Dead Christ in Rome. But in a way, it's this is a young boy, and again, so after suffering some tragedy, it just seems everything is terrible. But you know, I like to think that maybe there's somebody up there looking after him type of thing. That's kind of where I went with that one.